Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Billy Truelove and Justin Herrera, podcast 1558. It's Thursday night. Let's do this. Justin, not a whole lot going on. We don't have Matt Bird with us tonight. He's out saving the world.
Hey.
And as far as the football world goes, as you know, this is the most boring time of the year. So what is going on right now? I'll ask you some questions here. I saw last night Hawks take down the Bucks 116-113 in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Definitely seems like Trae Young has just been on a rocket ship the past couple weeks here. And that's not what I would consider a super team by any means or anything, right?
Yeah, I think you're 100% right on that assumption. I've got, as far as like the East is concerned and that Eastern Conference final matchup, like my interest in it is like coming from like, I'm a Houston Rockets fan. Like I'm from Houston. I moved to Kansas City when I was like 8 and then like adopted the Chiefs as like my team. But since we don't have an NBA team, I've always rooted for the Rockets. Well, the Rockets imploded, like they blew everything up, but they traded off all their pieces. So where that ties into the Eastern Conference is like the Hawks have Clint Capella, which I think is an extremely underrated center because he was kind of like that run and gun center, right? So he's like 6'10", but like that guy can move like the wind blows, to quote our friend Forrest Gump. I think pairing him with like Trae Young just kind of complement each other very well. Trae is just like, everyone assumed like nobody can do what like Steph Curry does, right? Like you can't be a smaller point guard and take over the league quite like that. And I think we're all kind of seeing he is that guy, right? Like he's just really, really good at basketball, and it's kind of hard to stop. Now, I will say that I don't think the Bucks are as good as they were the past year, but as it ties into the Bucks with the Rockets, they also have PJ Tucker, who the Rockets asked to play center, and he's like 6'5", and he played center with like a lot of people know like with him getting into it back and forth with Kevin Durant during the Nets and Bucks series. But
yeah, I
think this is going to be a good series. Honestly, a lot of people were saying like Bucks are going to run away with this thing, Bucks in 4, that kind of stuff. Yep. I think you might get like a 6 or 7 game series out of this, which is not good for either team because I think they're going to be facing the Suns in the finals.
Which they've got Game 3 going tonight. They got a 2-0 series lead on the Clippers right now. Obviously, Clippers playing without some of their star-powered Kawhi Leonard, but Devin Booker without Chris Paul. These first 2 games has also been great. I believe they're going to be getting, as a possibility, they're getting Chris Paul back tonight. If that's the case, going to be very difficult for the Clippers to hang on. Unless I could be wrong, but I don't believe Kawhi Leonard's coming back, and that one could be over sooner than later, right?
Yeah, I agree with you on that one as well, man. Like, I think a lot of like just NBA fans, even if you don't have like a rooting interest, you don't have a team, you just enjoy watching basketball. I can't think of very many people that'd be like, you know what? No, I don't want to see Chris Paul get his ring. So I'm really pulling for the Phoenix Suns. Yeah. Also, the Suns in 4 guy is incredible. I watched him on a Barstool Sports podcast, and everyone thought he was like this hockey player just because he just beat up those Nuggets fans like for pouring beer on him.
Yeah. So, that was hilarious.
That guy was great. And like the fact that like he just like told his boys like I'm gonna beat your boy up right now.
Yeah. Suns
in 4, by the way. Yeah, I think they're kind of like the darling of the playoffs. So
they absolutely are. I don't know how you can't pull for them. But at the same time, with the removal of really any legit super team, it's kind of fun to root for anyone in this one. You like to see the underrated, the underdog teams like the Suns, like the Hawks going into this. It is a lot of fun right now. The NBA has got to be seeing this uptick in ratings. You don't have LeBron, you don't have the Nets. This is great basketball getting played.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to put a salary cap on these fucking teams,
Yeah.
or a tighter bank account on these in that league, because it's good now. It's not David versus Goliath every game. So interesting. Like you said, anything can happen in the Suns Clippers series, and in the Hawks Bucks series. That they're both going to be a lot of fun.
Oh
So
yeah.
you are pulling for the Suns in this?
So I've also got like extended like I guess like in-laws that also live in Arizona, and like they're having like I know that they're enjoying it, so they've got to be like they're Suns fans. So I'm really pulling for them. I hope that community gets that dub, moves on. I
Yeah.
also here's the thing, like maybe it's just because like we're in Kansas City. I can't stand like especially with like baseball, but like I can't stand like big markets. So when you have like the Clippers who also have the Lakers and also have the Dodgers who can throw just an absorbent amount of money at like any mistake and it's just
And they
fine.
have like 100 football teams
That all seem to come in and then
in
they
this
get a
in
new
that
state
state.
and then they get a
Yeah.
new stadium and then they leave and then they come back and get a new stadium. Like like nah. Like I really do hope Suns and 4. I'll be honest with you on that one.
That would be awesome.
And then like whoever comes out between the Bucks and the Hawks, I'm fine with either or because again, you got Clint Capella on the and again, these aren't the superstars or anything like that, but like
Yeah.
I'm pulling for like Clint Capella, who was our center for the Rockets and on the Hawks now, and then PJ Tucker, who played as a center, even though he's like 6'5", who also
Yeah.
plays for the Bucks.
That is awesome. Shifting gears here over to the NFL, really thought we got a Christmas present delivered today. Pro Football Talk released that the NFL is going to allow alternate helmets in the 2022 season. This meaning that they were going to allow the throwback uniforms if you had one, or an alternate helmet for your Color Rush jersey. Moments later, they came out and said, they pumped the brakes on it. If you were going to do this, you were going to have put in for the jersey and uniform change as well already, which teams haven't. So in the Chiefs case, if we weren't set up to do our throwback, which I don't think anyone is interested in our throwback uniforms anyways.
It has the state of Texas on it, like
Exactly. And a logo, that really just gets people protesting outside the stadium. We would be able to do our Color Rush scheme, but our Color Rush scheme is red on red, and the helmet is red. So, but good things to come is what it sounds like if they're going to allow teams now to start thinking that way and get something in place for the 2023 season. The Chiefs could very well submit that they want to do the all yellows, possibly all maybe let the all whites be our Color Rush, which would then bring in a white helmet. That all white would look pretty clean, I think. And yellow, the all yellow would maybe get some laughs. Maybe it would look good. I don't know. Yeah.
Man, it's so wild. Like, maybe it's just a generational thing, right? Because I know, like, if I talk to some older Chiefs fans that that I just kind of know are in the area, like they're like, no, don't, just red jerseys, white pants, red helmet. That's it. I don't want to see anything different. Red pants, white jersey, red helmet. That's it. Like, I want something fun, something new. Like, you're the NFL, like, and especially as the NFL, like you have to be chomping at the bits to be like, oh, that's new merch that we can sell.
Absolutely. And it's in I think, as a customer, like I've bought the yellow Kelsey jersey.
Oh yeah.
And they're cool, but it also is this like, oh, it's this fake thing that never gets used. You're absolutely right. They'd sell much more if they were actually putting those on the field. So teams that that already have their Color Rush uniforms in place, and they hadn't changed that helmet in the past, they could still do that. So the Cowboys could go with a white helmet this year. The Seahawks could go with a lime green helmet. There's a couple teams out there that you could see a different helmet with, which would be great. I think if any team can get it done this year, go ahead and do it. I think it is. it's not really related to the performance on the field, but it's something different. It's something cool. And you're right. It is going to push merchandise for sure.
I think the Redskins go back through a throwback with their original logo. Oh man, I'm sorry. That just seems like a Dan Snyder movie. He's like, you know what? Let's throw it back a little bit, baby.
We are gonna do this. Yeah, we are going. Holy shit, that would
That
be awesome.
I will say that I did see that the Bucks put in that request, so they're going to bring back that like original like
The
Buccaneer,
orange and white.
which
Yeah,
tells me like bring back that like creamsicle jersey. As much as I hate
yeah,
Tom Brady, like I'll watch some Bucks games. Like I
yeah,
mean, I'll still always watch like Tom Brady play because it's Tom freaking Brady. But like,
yeah,
God, those jerseys are so dope. And like the old Miami jerseys,
yeah.
like there's some old school like NFL jerseys. Bring some of those back.
Get those Houston Oiler jerseys out there.
The
Those
Eagles
uniforms.
jerseys. Oh, dude, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
one of my favorite throwbacks is the old Patriots.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
you know, the little Patriot in the stance on the helmet. That
put the down. Yeah.
those are great. God, I feel like the Chiefs throwback uniform is probably my least favorite of everyone's. It is.
I don't know.
Just
I feel
awful.
like what is it? Is it the Green Bay Packers that have those flesh colored pants? It
Yeah,
just looks like a bunch.
like that.
It just looks like a bunch of like grown ass men, Porky Pigging it outside, just running with a shirt, like a shirt and no pants on. Like
Yeah.
those are probably the worst. I do like the Steelers Bumblebee.
I was gonna say those are hideous.
I dig it, man. Like it just makes me think of like old school 1890s like rugby or whatever, and there's just guys wearing leather helmets and
Give the Madden crowd what they want, and let the Cleveland Browns play against the Baltimore Ravens wearing the Ravens throwback, which are the Browns uniforms, and just let the world explode.
again though, but like it's just so weird that like the NFL like has these weird like rules in place because dude, that's a way to make stupid money. If they came out and they had like a yellow like official Chiefs jersey,
Mhm.
I'd be waiting either on the NFL shop website at midnight, or I'd be in
Yeah,
like at a rally at one of our local rally houses. I'd be like, all
yeah,
right, I need that Patrick Mahomes jersey or a Tyreek Hill. Come on,
yeah,
let's go.
yeah. Because they only released a couple players. I believe there's the Mahomes, there's the Kelsey. They may have done Hill, but that's it. But yeah, you get to open up the roster with those jerseys, and yeah, no, I'm with you 100%. Other news that came out today: Pittsburgh Steelers releasing All-Pro guard David DeCastro. Again, that that team's a dumpster fire right now. I think he was one of the last two returning offensive linemen from last season. Not saying that line was worth a damn, because they could not run the ball, but I don't think they were horrible in pass protection. Ben Roethlisberger still chucked the ball around. He's just falling apart.
Yeah.
But I am interested to see if with the news about Kyle Long, are the Chiefs done? If you think you can give him a call and get him for super cheap on a 1-year deal, lock in that other starter. I'm not sure. I think it's a long shot, because I do have a feeling the Chiefs are done. But the NFL did announce the other day that if players are going to opt out, that would be a $350,000 salary they'd be getting that for the season, which I believe is twice as much, a little, or maybe even a little more than twice as much as it was last year. And I haven't heard that Trey Smith is going to opt out, but you don't really hear about it until it happens. And him having a real actual medical concern, I don't know where his head is at there. And that's the only the only avenue I could see the Chiefs wanting to go get another guy on that line if they know we're going to be losing someone before the season starts.
I think it sounds like great, like in theory, like, hey, let's go out and get this 6-time Pro Bowler, right? But like, if I can't see them making any more moves shy if they, get rid of like Frank Clark, which again, I've only got like a couple of pieces of information just from like listening to the radio on my way back to the house. But I think it sounded like they expected Kyle Long to be back by week 1. So I think right now we're looking at a position battle between Laurent Duvernay-Tardif and Trey Smith. And
you were able to let that name just roll off the tongue, aren't you? That was very slick.
Yeah, man. So here's the thing though, and like where I think it gets interesting, especially when it comes to this whole are guys going to opt out? Because you do have that option.
Hmm.
I think what this past year has shown us is that when you opt out, like you're not guaranteed a spot back. Like the Super Bowl hero, who a lot
Yeah.
of people think that like Damian Williams should have been the Super Bowl MVP, didn't have a job when he came back. Laurent Duvernay-Tardif was talking about competing with a rookie from the 6th round for a starting position right now. And like it's
Hmm.
not like he's just being given the position. So I
Yeah.
think a lot of guys are going to start to look at that. And now I think we've seen like this massive decline in like COVID cases being reported and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I think you're going to start to see guys be like, nah, I'm not going to take that option to
Yeah. Because
opt
three
out.
hundred fifty thousand is far less than what they would more than likely be getting. I think that's
Yeah.
far less than any minimum, vet minimum or anything like that.
I'll
And
opt out
you
though
know,
for that much.
fuck yeah, you just show me where to sign up and then show me how to opt out. But yeah, I think you're right. Lucas Niang had quite the opportunity get taken from him.
Yep.
We lose both tackles. By the time the Super Bowl came around, he would be a starting tackle in the Super Bowl, win or lose. That's a dream come true for any football player. But we'll see. I don't hope. I really don't want David DeCastro to be a chief if it means that we've got drama
Yeah.
with COVID-19. Starting, it was yesterday and today. I did put out a top 10 pass catching tandems ranking. Pro Football Focus had put one out. I've seen some other podcasts put one out, and I just figured, hey, they all suck, so I'll do one. And I got that top 5 out today. And no shocker, I had a Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce number 1. I don't think that can be debated, but the rest of the list is really just kind of, it's about going into a season of something we don't know what's going to happen, who you think the badasses are of the league, and what's going to happen. I'm sure I will catch some flack for some of those rankings.
And I think everybody wants to like say like, oh well, I don't agree with this, whatever. But I actually like, I had some time to kind of like look over the list, and I think like that whole top 10, you can like almost interchange a lot of those parts and like still make a case for it. So I think it's a really hard list to come up with, and it's
Yeah.
always fascinating to see like who puts what where and like what kind of
Hmm.
emphasis, like what things you put emphasis is like on.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool though. So um looking at like the top 10, like, yeah, I don't think, and again, yeah, this is a Chiefs podcast, but I don't think outside of Kansas City, I still don't think you're going to find anyone that's like, you know what? Yeah, Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce isn't number one. That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. The
I
only
could
time
see,
I'm seeing them not on even, on the list at all is if it's just wide receiver tandems. Kelsey is, being that tight end, we do have a kind of a different setup. I did have one other tight end wide receiver duo on there at number 10 with George Kittle and Debo Samuel. But yeah, we are a little different in that regard. And by all means, I would absolutely love for 2021 to end, and it's Tyreek Hill and Mecole Hardman are the best tandem in football. Don't know if that's going to happen. Mecole has more he could not be asking for a better opportunity this year. Patrick's got his line. Patrick's going to have a much improved run game, and you are going to be leaned on as the number 3 receiver on that team outside of Tyreek and Travis Kelce. This is make or break for Mecole Hardman.
yeah,
I really do think that this is where what we need to see from him. This is his opportunity to shine. Because I don't think Demarcus Robinson is, you know.
he's not that guy, pal. Like he's just not that. I mean, okay, here's the thing. I like Demarcus Robinson. I think he's a very solid number 3 receiver. And I think you need guys like that.
Yeah.
I think that's a good guy to have on your team. I think he can make some catches where you're like, okay, I don't know how he came up with that. Way to freaking go. We need those big
Yeah.
plays. But if I'm relying on somebody week in, week out to consistently get 75, to
Yeah.
100 yards, anywhere kind of in that range, I don't think you're going to get that with him. And that's, but it is what it is. Like we need role players. Every team needs those role player guys. You need your dirty Dan Sorensens. You know what I mean? Who's not ever going to win like best safety of the year, but God damn it, that guy will put in the work and he'll make
Yeah.
plays when he needs to make plays. As far as Mecole Hardman goes, you're 100% correct. This is make or break, and I know this is year 3, but we haven't seen that type of production that you're going to need out of that type of receiver.
Yeah, and to defend him, I'll say it is hard. It's hard to get the production required to going into a contract year to know, okay, now I'm really going to turn it on because of Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce being on the team. They are going to be that 1 and 2 options. You're going to have to be just open constantly to really make a stand. That's why I don't think Demarcus Robinson gets anywhere close to his goal of 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. I would love it if it happens. Actually, no, I wouldn't. If Demarcus Robinson has 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns, something bad has happened.
Yeah,
and he's getting way too many targets.
and maybe it's just like he's focusing on like so many different things. Like there's a lot that goes into being a wide receiver in Andy Reid's offense. Everybody says it. You never get it year 1. It's always year 2 or year 3 where you really start to kind of shine.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, I don't want him receiving kickoffs or punts or anything like that. Let him focus on being a receiver. This is that make or break year. Just focus on that, because when he is back returning kicks, there are so many times where everybody in the kingdom is just like he's running backwards. Why is he running backwards? Oh God, why did he fumble? Like, and again, that's a scary position. Like, okay, I played junior high football, and receiving kickoffs is terrifying. Yeah. I don't know why people do it. I'd never want to do that ever again. You're just running at people head on right at you.
Yeah.
Full speed. So like, let the guy focus on being receiver number 2, and let's see what he can do. And I hope, I hope for all of our sakes, he goes out, puts anywhere from 800 to 1,000 yards, 5 to 7 touchdowns.
That would be amazing.
And I'd be okay.
That would be amazing. Yeah. That would be what it takes to go into a contract year and have some momentum. I mean, you can't just have another mediocre season going into the contract year and expect anyone to think now is when he's really going to blow up. I think put together a couple seasons here.
Now that I'm thinking about it, because we're adding in that extra game, I'm going to say like instead of 800 to 1,000, I'm going to say like 900 to 1,100. Because
and again, it's still going to be tough. Still going to be tough because with that extra game, it's still just that. Well, with the extra game, you're probably getting another game. You're probably getting another opportunity without Tyreek on the field.
Yeah.
Which I guess so. In that case, you're absolutely right. He could. If Mecole Hardman is the number 1 receiver on the field for a game, probably got Chad Henne throwing in the ball though. So,
and there's it just depends on like how the whole thing like shakes out. Like obviously, like if let's just say he gets hurt, obviously we don't want to hear about that. But like let's say he's out for like 4 or 5 games, and but he still comes in with like a clean like 850, 900 yards.
That'd be great. That would be awesome.
I'm not mad at that.
I just what I want out of Mecole Hardman is 700 to 800 yards.
Yeah,
and I'll be fine because Tyreek is there.
The other thing too is, and I think this is where it might make it a little bit more difficult. Maybe I should taper taper back the expectations here, but like we're going to see a lot more of Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the passing game. I think a lot more. And if that's the case, there's only so many, there's only so much time in a football game, right? There's only 60 minutes in a football game. So like you only get so many opportunities to pass the ball around. It can only go to so many people. But you've got Tyreek Hill, you've got Travis Kelce, you've got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Now you've got Noah Gray, who I think might
I don't like to fall into the OTA hype and the we're gonna be. You can already see he's going to be the name at training camp.
Yeah,
we're already hearing it. It's going to be him. I would. God damn! While we're on the subject, I want it to be Cornell Powell. I think that guy has a different type of frame that we just haven't had in a wide receiver in a while.
It's John Baldwin.
I would love for Cornell Powell to remove a needed list, a needed thing on our list, because Tyreek's not going to be here forever,
Yeah.
and it's we're going to have to live that life at some point, and I think it's going to be much sooner than later. Contract time is going to be coming up, and he's not getting. I'm not saying he's old, but he isn't one of the younger receivers in football now. Uh, but we'll see. A lot of that is a position group that has a lot of opportunity in it. And you're right, Noah Gray, watch out. That name is going to be everywhere leading up to preseason, going through preseason, and then there's a good chance you don't hear about him again until,
Well, and here's the thing,
until next year.
even if he doesn't like have like a super productive year and anything like that, and I don't think any of us are expecting like something outrageous from him, but like he's learning from arguably one of the best tight ends in NFL history.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
There's a lot to be said for that. Like
there
if
is a lot.
a phenomenal teacher, and it's not like Travis Kelsey's worried about him taking his job, so he's not
Yeah,
going to give him, that type of treatment. I mean, I think he's going to give him that Alex Smith, to like
yeah,
Colin
absolutely.
Kaepernick or Alex Smith to like Patrick Mahomes kind of treatment. And like that, those are the kind of guys that you want on your team that are just secure enough in their own jobs. They're like, look, I know I'm not sweating this. I'm going to teach you everything that I can. And he's got that camp going on with Kittle. I
Yeah,
bet Gray's
I,
probably there.
I would imagine he is as well. If he's smart, he is there. I believe they have 41 tight ends at
Yeah.
Tight End University this week. So that's an awesome situation for Noah Gray to be in. Um, Go ahead and pivot before we get out of here. Fantasy football players. It's fantasy football is something that I am pretty much obsessed with. When that time comes, we absolutely want to get involved with fantasy football with our followers. We're going to open up a league, maybe 10 teams, maybe 12-team leagues. Don't have all the details yet. We still have a little bit of time to get this ironed out. Going to be putting that out for followers to get in. We'll just do a free entry league, and then we'll come up with something as a prize to take for first place in that. We'll be running an ESPN league for podcast 1558. I'll get more details out there on the Facebook page, on the Twitter page here in the next days or weeks to come. We'll be aiming to have that draft in somewhere mid-August, before we get too close to the holiday and the regular season beginning. We'll get that out there, and hope to just get a little more involved with the followers.
Oh, for sure. And I think we could do something fun like, hey, watch for like any post coming out like that says something like, hey, retweet, share, anything like that or whatever, and that could be like your entry into it. We'll just go ahead and
Absolutely, yeah. Just get your email from you. I'll get you the invite sent over, and then it will just be a shit talking festival all year long, and we'll make sure we're to be engaged with everyone throughout the season. Well, that's everything we got for tonight, guys. I'm Billy Truelove. I got Justin Herrera, and for Matt Bird, we are out of here. Go Chiefs.
Chiefs.